From the very beginning, the US and British military operation against Yemen's Houthis did not go according to plan. Unfortunately for Washington, the military operation called the Prosperity Guardian failed to yield the expected results. In the Red Sea, attacks on ships belonging to countries supporting Israel have not only not stopped, but have also increased significantly. Moreover, a few days ago, 2 British anti-mine ships, Sandown-class minehunter HMS Bangor and Hunt-class mine countermeasures vessel HMS Chiddingfold, were disabled in the port of Bahrain as a result of a collision. The damage of these warships turned out to be so significant that repair may take 8 to 12 months. The loss of these warships caused significant damage to the entire military operation in the Red Sea, since it was these British vessels that were supposed to fight against the underwater mines of Yemen's Houthis. As a result, the activities of the Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruiser and such destroyers as the Arleigh Burke-class were completely paralyzed off the coast of Yemen. Even sending other anti-mine ships to the Red Sea would no longer be able to affect the situation, since the arrival of these warships in the war zone would take too much time, which the United States and Britain do not have. Washington and London are also concerned about the fact that Yemen's Houthis have not only a huge stockpile of underwater mines, but also extensive experience in their use. The Houthis gained this experience during the blockade of the Yemeni coast by the fleets of the United States, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates in the spring of 2022. Moreover, the footage of divers of the Houthi movement, working hard in the waters of the Bab el-Mandeb Strait in the Red Sea, that appeared in early January, caused concern in Washington and London. This fact indicates that Yemen's Houthis have already mined all sea lanes to prevent British and American warships from intercepting small fishing vessels that deliver weapons, missiles, and drones from Iran to Yemen. By the way, the recent incident with the death of 2 American fighters of the super elite special forces of the U.S. Navy SEALs has also become a cause for concern in Washington. Let me remind you that 2 professional fighters of U.S. Navy SEALs died during the detention of a small fishing vessel that allegedly transported weapons from Iran to Yemen. It is reported that they allegedly accidentally fell overboard, as a result of which they drowned. All these losses and Washington's inability to solve the problem with Yemen's Houthis have had a very negative impact on the Biden administration. Moreover, Yemen's Houthis also added oil to the fire by showing the footage of their dummy missiles, which were made of cheap plywood, but at the same time emitting very powerful radio signals. As it turned out, all this time the United States and Britain spent hundreds of expensive cruise missiles to destroy cheap dummy rockets. Now it becomes clear why the military infrastructure of Yemen's Houthis was not damaged during the US and British missile strikes. Now it becomes clear why the number of missile attacks on Western vessels continues to grow rapidly in the Red Sea. Now it becomes clear why the United States was forced to turn to China for help. As it turned out, President Biden, against the background of the realization that the United States and Britain would not be able to cope with Yemen's Houthis, turned to the Chinese leader for help. Biden asked Xi Jinping, whom he repeatedly called a dictator, to put pressure on Iran so that Tehran would ban Yemen's Houthis from attacking Western vessels in the Red Sea. In addition to all these failures, the Americans and Israelis also lost an unmanned aerial vehicle MQ-9 Reaper, which was shot down by Iraqi guerrillas near Baghdad on January 19. Moreover, 2 days later, the most heavily guarded U.S. military base in Iraq, Ain al-Assad, was attacked by the same Iraqi guerrillas. As it turned out, they fired 16 missiles at the American military base, and only 5 of them were shot down. And this is considering that such Western air defense systems as Patriot, NASAMS, and Skyguard Sparrow protected this American base. Thus, watching what is happening, it becomes clear that President Biden, in 3 years of rule, has not managed to carry out a small victorious war in order to distract society from serious problems in the economy and the geopolitical arena of the world. Moreover, all the actions of the current administration have led to the fact that the United States is now forced to suffer a humiliating defeat not only in Afghanistan and the Middle East, but also in Ukraine.